This is a tale of sorrow and of woe. It is a tale that has influenced the cats who have lived here, and it is a tale of the abyss of bones. Within such a place, there seems to be no hope, but deep down, the cats hope for something they find anew. Welcome to the Abyss of Bones. This is my ClanGen playthrough, as you can see. But before we begin, I will need to describe some of the lore that I put out for this universe. You see, this does not take place in the Canon Warriors universe, where it takes place in a creation of my own making. This is known as the Fireverse. Essentially, cats have gained sapience due to the influence of the supernatural being known as the Firebird, and because of this, they have started to form clans. This has lasted for generations, that is, until one clan was placed under the game, known as the Secret Keeper game. They lost that game, trying to fight for their lives, and ever since then, the darkest of cats, the darkest afterlife known as the Achreios Abyss, has taken over the lands. You may also notice that there may be some Discord notifications in the background. Yes, I do have it on in the background. If you can hear it, I hope you don't mind. I just sometimes need help with rules. Speaking of rules, this is not your typical cat journey. No, these cats have mutations, as you can see. Essentially, each cat that I get will have a mutation. Well, not each cat. Basically, I'll randomize when they have a mutation. And these mutations will influence their appearance and their survivability. With that out of the way, it's time to go into the story itself. The story of the cats within the Abyss of Bones. Within a place that dare holds no name, a group of cats finds themselves wanting more. The world is in ruin, despite their best efforts, and they wish to keep moving forward within this life. It is for this reason why a place known as CyanClan is formed. CyanClan was named for the eerie cyan glow that is within the territory. The glow that is unlike anything else. It is this that the cats were given their name for. With that out of the way, it is time to see who our characters are. These cats will have a purpose that will influence the way that they function. First of which, we need to introduce CyanClan's leader. This cat is the one behind it all. The one who has created him. His name is Warmstar. Warmstar is a young and lonesome cat. He is not exactly the ideal type to be the leader, but yet he is the cat who has been deemed such. It is for this reason why he has been chosen to lead CyanClan. May his heart guide the clan in the right direction. By Warmstar's side, there is Whisperingstripe. She's older than Warmstar and a lot more adventurous. It is her courage that allows her to explore the Abyss of Bones. She has been chosen as Warmstar's deputy, in fact. Next is the medic, the one who heals, the one behind the medicine within the clan. His name is Umberpelt, and while he is old, he is far from over. A shameless cat, he does his actions without mercy. He'll heal whoever he can and do whatever it takes to keep CyanClan alive. These are the main roles in our clan, but they are not alone in such an endeavor. They have brought 5 other cats with them. 5 other cats with them. First of which is Sparrowstreak. Sparrowstreak is a charismatic adult male, someone whose words hold power. He hopes to bring CyanClan to its full glory and make it function the best that it can. Next, after Sparrowstreak is Rushmurk. Rushmurk is a confident Bane. Someone who's willing to take on any challenge despite their circumstances. It is for this reason why she has been chosen as one of the warriors of this clan. Next up in this place is Branchkit, a quiet little kitten that the CyanClan found. He is still young and has a lot of potential, but his eyes spark with the hope that many of the adult cats do not have. Next up to speak about is Flinthollow, a senior adult male. He's wise and has been through a lot of experiences. These experiences have helped him to be guided through this clan. Finally, last but not least, we have Drypaw. She's still young, but this ambitious female is ready to take on anything. He's the only apprentice of this clan, but she's going to make it a worthwhile experience. These are the cats of CyanClan, and in their home is not a pleasant one. The Abyss of Bones looks like a shipwreck. Skeletons and wood torn all over the place. It is not a happy place, but it's the place that these cats have deemed their own. With that out of the way, we will meet our clan, CyanClan. Let's first check up on the cats who are living here. Warmstar is a lonesome and a good speaker, and right now he appears to be eavesdropping on Whisperingstripe. I wonder what he is curious about in these times. Before we start getting too deep into the story, however, we must know that each of these cats has their own mutation. These mutations influence the way that they appear. Let's first speak of this guy's mutations, Warmstar. Already, we rolled a 10, so he has a head mutation. Let's roll which mutation that he has. He has what is known as a broad head. That is, his head is unusually broad. Simple enough to understand. Let's next roll the rest of his mutations. Ah, that is his only mutation. It's not exactly obvious in his appearance. But hey, a broad head is better than having a tiny head. Now, let's talk about Whisperingstripe. Already, she's wondering what it's like to be a leader. The adventurous gal that she is. She's also a good speaker like Warmstar. And her charisma is definitely going to serve this clan well. Let's see what kind of mutations she has. Okay, the first roller has not given us anything, it seems. But what can I say? Fate is strange. Let's look closer to see what mutation she has. As you can see, she has what is known as cute eyes. That is, she's got a little special spark in her eyes. That's adorable, isn't it? Next up, let's check our medic, Umberpelt, who's already feeling stressed taking care of the clan. At 149 moons, this wasn't exactly what he signed up for. But as campkeeper, he's willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. Now let's roll for his mutations. Ah, it appears that his mutation is not completely evident either. Let's see what kind that he has. He also has cute eyes, it seems. Looks like the charm runs in these cats, doesn't it? Whatever the case may be, they both have cute eyes. Next, is Flinthollow, who is sad they couldn't spend time with Primrose Crush. Who is Primrose Crush anyways? I'll go into more information on that later. Right now, it's good to know that Flinthollow is wise and an excellent fighter, a truly good fit for the clan's senior warrior. What kind of mutations does he hide in here? Let's see. It appears that his mutations are within those big old ears of his. Specifically, that mutation happens to be folded ears. His ears are folded. It's not evident here, but these ears may serve a better purpose as he continues to work on. Next up is Rushmurk, confident and an excellent speaker. Truly a cat to look out for. She's already trying to set a good example for the younger cats. Let's see if she'll succeed in that regard. And already she has not one, but two mutations. One in the head and one in the teeth. She has a disformed head, which means her head isn't exactly the right shape. She isn't laying that bugger though. She also has another mutation that can be seen in her flat teeth. She's got a face that only a mother could love. But what can I say? She's good at her job. Next up is Sparrowstreak. He's extremely smart and charismatic. And like his peer Rushmurk, he is trying to set a good example for the younger cats. Let's see what kind of mutations he holds. It seems he has a mutation in his ears. What kind, you might ask? Well, he has unfortunately been born deaf. That means he can't exactly hear like the other cats. At 83 moons old, however, he's accommodated for such a disability, and it hasn't stopped him from doing his job. Next up is Drypaw. She's ambitious, and watching and learning from Whisperingstripe. She's Warmstar's apprentice. The only apprentice, in fact. And she's just 2 moons from being a warrior, provided she gets enough training, of course. And look what it is. Her mutation is within her body itself. What kind, you may ask? Well, she's got the most odd of mutations, a poisonous body. She's toxic. That stripe isn't just for looks, you know. It's still go to her advantage, however, having leveled with such a toxic body. Finally, there's Branchkit, who's 4 moons old. This little guy has already gotten in trouble for bringing thorns into the nest. Let's hope he doesn't cause too much more trouble in our camp. Well, what about his mutation, you might ask? Well, his mutation lies in the eyes. Huh, like a lot of other cats. Branchkit, you see, also has cute eyes. 3 cute eyes in a row? This is getting wild. Well, his eyes are especially cute considering he's still a kid and all. But let's see how he develops. Now you may be wondering who Primrose Crash is. Primrose Crash here happens to be our guide. One of the few cats left in paradise here. Primrose Crash is the one who's trying to bring CyanClan to victory. She can barely see sometimes, barely know of what is there. But she's willing to help. She isn't a mutant like the other cats, but this sneaky dame isn't going to let that stop her. It's just simply the beginning. With that out of the way, we've introduced our cats and shown what they are up to. Now let's see if they can go on patrol. Okay, Rushmurk, you want to go on patrol? She seems ready. She seems ready for such a thing. But Warmstar wants to make sure that she's not going alone. Henceforth, Sparrowstreak has gone with her. She's more skilled than he is, but together they can work hard. As the patrol passes along the sands of their home, between the waves, In the odd, goopy rock pools, they find the oddest thing any of them have ever seen. A strange tentacle creature, an octopus on land. It's clearly trying to head for the ocean. Such a creature is having a hard time in this apocalyptic landscape. But it's good prey. Sparrowstreak pounces on it, feeling almost sorry for the sea creature, which is too small to put up much of a fight. At the end of the day, he managed to get the food over to the clan, and CyanClan is safe for now. Next up is Warmstar and Drypaw, who go together as mentor and apprentice. There are dark clouds on the horizon, and Warmstar wonders if they should continue. It's an ominous thing, to be sure, but they're going to move forward nevertheless. They become wet from the rain that has fallen, but otherwise the patrol is successful. Warmstar breathes a sigh of relief, especially since it could have been far worse. Next up is Whisperingstripe and Flinthollow, who decide to pair up together. Flinthollow, as he goes, smells food to in a tunnel. He looks into the tunnel to see what is there under some disturbed sand. Unfortunately for him, it's a trap. He's caught in the trap, hidden in the sand, and there's nothing to do as he's taken away. What kind of place has he been taken to? Will he return? Whisperingstripe does not know, but Flinthollow is gone, and he will never come back. That is, he might come back. Nobody's sure if he will or not. Next up is Umberpelt, who, despite the current situation, is still going on patrol. As it seems, New Leaf has brought new life to CyanClan's territory, and Umberpelt is trying to gather some of the remaining goldenrod for the source. It always amazes him how quickly goldenrod bushes sprout back after leaping, and he collects more goldenrod than they were anticipating. With that out of the way, the cats make it back home. Everyone except Flinthollow. But if that's going to stop them from CyanClan, then they would have been stopped a long time ago. But as they live their lives, an ominous warning comes over them. Umberpelt stirs from his sleep, his golden eyes suddenly shooting open. He hears the prophecy. Please, ticks, leeches, worms. Worse than you can think. Don't be a target and get rid of them quickly. It's a nerve-wracking words in his ears, but he soon tells Warmstar that they should be wary of whatever parasites are nearby. A moon soon passes, and Branchkit has gotten a bit of a stomachache. He'll be okay, but he feels rather down. Drypaw is eager, meanwhile, and while Warmstar was initially worried that the young cat was going to be troublesome, he realizes he can count on Drypaw's bravery and sharp claws when the clan needs it the most. In honor of her boldness, Drypaw is given the name Dry Shadow. Meanwhile, as the clan goes, the cats speak. Branchkit and Rushmurk joke about how bad other clans must smell, considering their own rather bad sin. Unfortunately, Umberpelt has soon heard Whisperingstripe complaining about him behind his back. Why is he doing such a thing? Why is she doing such a thing? Was it because he was old? Was it because he did not walk as fast as the other cats? He did not know. But in the same time, Warmstar spars with Dry Shadow, the two of them having a good time, as former mentor and former apprentice are ready for anything. As Warmstar moves by, he sees Branchkit, congratulating the soon-to-be apprentice for a job well done. What job did Branchkit do exactly? Well, Branchkit's been looking after the herbs when Umberpelt can't. He isn't sure if Branchkit is going to be a medic, though. Whisperingstripe, meanwhile, had Warmstar surprise her with something nice. The two are already bonding despite barely knowing each other, and are happy to be with one another. Sparrowstreak covered for Dry Shadow on something minor. What, you may ask? It probably involved her early warriorship and all. But hey, he's willing to protect her when there's something bad going on. Sparrowstreak complained about something Warmstar did. Was it something revolving around the recent warriorship? Nobody knows for sure. But it's clear that he's a little unnerved by Warmstar and his lonesome attitude. Rushmurk swaps favorite prey with Drypaw. Two of them bonding with one another. Or I shall say, Dry Shadow, considering she's a warrior now. Let's just hope that Dry Shadow didn't get too much of her poisonous body on whatever prey Rushmurk has on. Rushmurk, Sparrowstreak, and Whisperingstripe having a nice talk while eating. As does Dry Shadow, Branchkit, with Sparrowstreak having a nice talk. It seems to be an overall peaceful time, but Dry Shadow's sudden induction has definitely shaken things up. Now let's check on these cats and see how they're doing. Warmstar is feeling unappreciated, presumably because of how Sparrowstreak has felt about him. Was he seen as inadequate or something? He didn't know, but it weighed on his heart. Whisperingstripe, meanwhile, is assigning cats to the hunting patrol, like any good deputy should. She's still deciding who exactly should go, however. Umberpelt is spending a considerable amount of time grooming. His hair is all a mess, and it's clear that Whisperingstripe has gotten under his skin. Will he get over it? Maybe, but it feels like the parasites are crawling not just from the outside, but on the inside. Rushmurk is having a bit of a hard day. With Flinthollow gone, she is struggling to know that their oldest warrior has disappeared. She's been trying to bond with the other cats here, but still quite nervous. Sparrowstreak is talking to himself, it seems. He can't hear what words he's saying, but it appears that his mutterances are there nevertheless. Dry Shadow is hoping Whisperingstripe won't assign her to the next patrol. Well, let's hope she doesn't get signed on either. You may have noticed that Dry Shadow's personality has changed a little. She is now bloodthirsty, yet has a strong connection to Paradiso, the afterlife of this setting. She's definitely got the ferocity of a wild cat, to be sure. Let's just hope it doesn't go anywhere bad. Branchkit is too good at playing hide and seek. He nearly disappeared while Umberpelt was trying to take care of his stomachache. Thankfully, he's back in the clan. Now, Flinthollow. He's trying to get back to CyanClan as soon as possible. It's clear that he's not happy in his new home. He just wants to get back, it seems. As you can see, our cats are doing pretty well. Well, besides losing Flinthollow and the parasites, and Rushmurk having a bit of a bad day. But hey, at least they got a warrior early. With that, Umberpelt goes on patrol. He tests the air, trying to decide if it's warm enough for a catmint. Scare a catmint yet. They'd really like to replenish the herb stocks after a leaf bear. The medicine cat carefully picks out catmint from its known hiding places, carting it back to camp where it will protect the clan. A job well done for the old healer, the old medic of this clan. Next up is Sparrowstreak and Dry Shadow. Dry Shadow is already going on her first patrol as a warrior. And of course, this is the hunting patrol that Whisperingstripe is assigned them. The two catch the scent of a fox, but is it red or gray? And is it a worth fight if they encounter it? They didn't think foxes would inhabit this post-apocalyptic landscape, but you can never be too sure. Sparrowstreak and Dry Shadow stick together, wondering what will happen next. The scent trail leads to where some kind of fox, perhaps mutated like them, has cached half a fish in a poorly concealed hole. Cats take it as their due and leave the fox to wander. Thankfully, the two of them are safe. The remaining warriors, Warmstar, Whisperingstripe, and Rushmurk, go on patrol. Like the others, they catch another scent of a fox. Is it fox, though? hard to tell when the Achreios Abyss is influencing so much. Nevertheless, they 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 decide to observe it. Warmstar released patrol to the end of the century, where they discovered a horrifyingly mutated red fox sitting and plucking the feathers off a plump seagull. With careful signals, the cats set up an ambush, but they aren't careful enough. With a snarl, the fox takes a bite at Rushmurk as it flees with its dinner. Rushmurk has gotten some scrapes, it seems. Mutations can occur if the cats get unusual scarring during the events, but not during patrols. She'll still be the same. She gets a little scraped up from what has happened. With that out of the way, Branchkit will become Branchpaw soon, when the moon passes. Newly made apprentice Branchpaw touches noses with his new mentor, Sparrowstreak. His stomachache has also disappeared. Unfortunately, not all the cats are feeling it. Rushmurk may not be scraped up anymore, but she's gotten a bit of a stomachache herself. Umberpelt's nose getting a bit runny during the new leaf season. Branchpaw is already giving Dry Shadow attack being found. He already seems to think he knows everything, doesn't he? But alas, he does not. Umberpelt is complaining that Sparrowstreak never does anything helpful. Sparrowstreak, yet he's also surprised by Sparrowstreak being thoughtful. It appears that the old Tom did not have a high opinion of Sparrowstreak. Perhaps it is their personalities that are matching. Umberpelt and Sparrowstreak, the shameless and the charismatic. Guess Sparrowstreak can't convince everyone to be by his side. Umberpelt, Warmstar, Dry Shadow, and Umberpelt took a sunbeam and had a little small talk. It was a pleasant conversation and all. They were finally starting to get closer together. Warmstar and Dry Shadow are heckling another clan together. Well, is it a clan though? Whatever the case is, they're heckling the other cats down too close to them. They don't like company after all. Whisperingstripe, meanwhile, wishes her pelt could shine like Umberpelt's. Perhaps it is not because she is as blessed by paradise so as he is. Perhaps she's just feeling the sting of jealousy. But who knows? Sparrowstreak, meanwhile, is complaining about something Rushmurk did. Was cocky little Rushmurk getting out to do her scrapes? Maybe. But it definitely rubbed Sparrowstreak the wrong way. Sparrowstreak manages to get over this, however, and asks Warmstar how he's doing. Rushmurk also thinks Warmstar is very helpful. It seems that Warmstar is getting quite the attention at this man. Wonder how this will play out. Warmstar regrets not eating the bird on the fresh kill pile earlier. Appears someone took it before he could. Nevertheless, looking at his relations, he's getting close to his apprentice, Dry Shadow, already. Nobody's particularly close yet, since the clan just formed, however. Whisperingstripe, she's craving the taste of old, perhaps the long-gone remnant of the past. Stomach is growling, nevertheless. Umberpelt is checking up on the warriors, especially recently scraped up Rushmurk and recently recovered Branchpaw. He's a little sick himself, though, too. Rushmurk is building up a fellow clanmate's confidence in battle. Which clanmate, you may be wondering? Perhaps it's Sparrowstreak, cat she's closest to so far. He may be charismatic, but he doesn't have the attitude that Rushmurk quite does. Sparrowstreak is wondering how Warmstar is doing. He's been wondering a lot about Warmstar, to be honest. Something about that Tom, it seems. Is it his youth? Is it his lonesome nature? Who knows? Dry Shadow wonders how easy it will be to attack the leader from where she lays. Oh, gee, Dry Shadow. You're buds with Warmstar, but hey, guess you're wondering how capable you are. She's always been a little bloodthirsty. Let's just hope she doesn't do anything bad, you know. Let's look at Branchkit now. He's staring off into space. He's gained the lonesome trait. It appears he doesn't like company all that much. It's okay though. We like Branchkit. Let's check up on Flinthollow. Who hopes his friends from CyanClan are doing okay. He's also seemed to change from the wise to loving traits. Or was he always loving? It appears that he's getting a bit more affectionate hanging out with the two legs. Meanwhile, Rushmurk, Branchkit, and Sparrowstreak decide to go out together. A rabbit bursts out from cover, startled by the patrol. It's one of the few pieces of prey that they can gather. They jump after it, but it has too great of a head start. Their stomachs growl in sadness. Whisperingstripe, Dry Shadow, and Warmstar next go on patrol. They catch the scent of a fox. Another fox, actually. They track it down and find the stocky gray fox feeding on an unidentified, deliciously stinking mound of carrion sea has washed up onto the shore. They're real hungry and they have to go after. They launch into battle, but with so few cats, it's exhausting trying to keep up with the fox and its snapping jaws on the defensive. An act of daring bravery. Whisperingstripe darts low to the ground and gets under the jaws and sinks her teeth into the fox's throat. It's only one bite, but the fox had enough and flees. Umberpelt goes last. He's on a mission to find Lungwar now that New Leaf is here. As the only reliable cure for Yellowcomb, he's determined that CyanClan replenished their stocks of it. He manages to find Impact. It takes him all day, but eventually he finds the leaves that are so crucial to replenishing the clan stores after the long leaf period. Just a second. He feels the weight of his responsibility to strength or relief, catching him off guard. They're a young clan, you see. They barely know each other and are sticking together, but they're willing to go through this. Warmstar, a loner, yet the one who found himself in charge of this whole clan. He's got some friends already, but he's still looking with curious eyes. Whisperingstripe, adventurous and willing to take on the lead. Confident even. It's rubbed some cats the wrong way. But she's willing to show that she's got the power in her hands. Umberpelt, old, shameless, doesn't really have much of a filter, but surprisingly trustworthy, especially in his duties of keeping the camp. Rushmurk, confident, cocky, speaks very well. She rubs people the wrong way, but she can sure build confidence when it's needed. Sparrowstreak, charismatic guy who's managed to make a lot of friends in his time. He's got the way with words, and his intelligence is noteworthy. Let's see how he fares in these times. Dry Shadow, bloodthirsty yet kind. Just a bit crazy maybe, but she's willing to do whatever it takes. And her connection to Paradise may be the key to leading them to victory. Branchkit, the youngest, the loner, the quiet one, the one who nobody pays too much attention to. There's a lot at stake, but he's willing to fight for it. These are the cats, the CyanClan, and they hope that they can stick together. A ragtag bunch of mutants. They barely know each other. They aren't even sure if they can fully tolerate each other yet. But their time here, it's worth something. They've smelt many foxes around here. Mutated, formed, probably sent by the Abyss. They've also known of the two legs. They've already taken Flinthollow after all. And of course, they're having a decent supply of prey. But will it be enough to survive these seasons? Only they know, especially with the parasites lurking beyond the horizon. With that is the end of the recording. My name is Sparklepop, And let's keep moving forward to see how these cats fare.